I'm Paul Cram, joined today by Mary Burns Klinger.
It used to be in the Twin Cities, if somebody not in the Twin Cities needed to see you, or even sometimes if they did and they didn't want to do it in person, you would go to your agent's office and they would do some recording for you, but that's not the case anymore. So it's a good thing to try and learn how to do this for going forward.
Mary is an actress, singer, and a proud member of both Actors Equity Association and SAG-AFTRA. She hails from a Midwestern family of hard workers, including her maternal grandfather who toured the upper Midwest vaudeville circuit in the 1920s. Mary earned a BFA in theater arts from the University of South Dakota, and she has performed in plays and musicals on many stages, including South Dakota, Illinois, Minnesota, New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and other points out east. She's a SAG-AFTRA member since the late 1980s, appearing in local national TV commercials and industrials, as well as print advertisements and several independent feature films. Really, I'm so glad that we're able to connect like this and talk a little bit today about the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. So good to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate being asked.
Yeah, absolutely. Right before I clicked record, you had mentioned something that I think it would be really cool for people to hear. When did you join SAG-AFTRA officially?
Yeah, I officially it started out as an AFTRA person in the early 1990s. And it was probably only a couple of years later that I ended up joining SAG, because the Twin Cities in the 1990s was a real hot spot for filming commercials. There were commercials filmed here constantly. I did so many commercials in the 1990s. It was like, there's no way I couldn't have joined the union. So by the end of the 1990s, I was, in the double union and actually triple, because I'm a member of Actors Equity as well. But
oh, cool. That's really cool.
After board and served on the SAG-AFTRA board. I mean, I've been around a little bit.
It's fantastic. Yeah. You have a wealth of knowledge within that. Yeah. And it's good. It's good. As and I'll mention this too. We both are currently on the Twin Cities local SAG-AFTRA board, but everything that we talk about today is just a reflection of us as individual actors who happen to be members of SAG-AFTRA in the board, but this is not officially, this is just from us as actors. So
it's a chat.
Yeah.
The benefits of membership.
Yes. So I'm excited to hear from you on this, because the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is separate from SAG-AFTRA. They're separate entities. When I joined SAG-AFTRA, oh my gosh, I think it was 2015. It was right around, I think around 2016, 2017, I started to pay more attention to the foundation. And over the course of time, I've taken a little bit of things here, a little bit of their educational offerings. You took a class recently as well, right? Like I took several last month, and I know you took one recently.
Yeah, I took one last month. It was actually, to admit, I'm kind of embarrassed. The first time I tried one of the online classes, but it was very interesting and actually I think very helpful. It was on self-tapes and remote auditions, which of course is
nice.
The way of the world these days. It used to be in the Twin Cities, if somebody not in the Twin Cities needed to see you, or even sometimes if they did and they didn't want to do it in person, you would go to your agent's office and they would do some recording for you, but that's not the case anymore. So it's a good thing to try and learn how to do this for going forward. Plus, if we want to work, since there's really not a lot right now in the Twin Cities, and we're willing to go to Chicago or St. Louis.
Places, different things like that.
We need to be able to do that kind of stuff. So it was helpful.
And even for myself here in the Twin Cities, I mean, I have an audition that just came through, and it is through a local casting director, and it's for a local project, and they're doing it all through self-tape. Like I want to say that's maybe the way of the world, unfortunately, in some ways that we're in right now, because I'm curious, was that self-tape, was that with like a casting director, or was it just with an educational
No, this one,
slant?
yeah, this one was more like with someone who was very well versed in doing
Oh,
it.
cool.
Was someone from the foundation or associated with foundation who had done these classes before, and was basically an expert at what was to be done. But it was an actor.
Nice.
I mean, and told it from an actor's viewpoint. So, the equipment, the possibilities, where you could find material and how it should be done, and even down to the lighting and the backgrounds and things like that, which was a little overwhelming. But also, one of the other things I discovered after looking a little more deeply into the foundation website was that they also have a video library with some of these classes, including like 2 different sessions on this particular topic of self-tape. I haven't looked at them yet.
Nice.
No, I'm going to go back and look at those because I maybe didn't catch it all the first on that one round. And the fact that there's a library that you can find what you need.
And go back and watch it maybe on your own. I noticed that when I was taking I think it was a time management
Mm,
course last month, which was really great.
mhm,
But there was I think they were about 2 hours a piece,
mm,
videos that were where I went back and I watched them, and I ordered some books from the library and stuff, and just really, really diving in deeper.
yeah.
I was going to mention, to kind of piggyback off of yours specifically, though, I took a class, it's through the foundation, SAG-AFTRA Foundation, and it's a casting access class.
Mhm,
And it was with a casting director who had you submit a self-tape. So you
mm,
did a self-tape and then you submitted it to him, and he specifically is in LA, and he casts tons of TV shows.
okay.
I wasn't taking it for that. I wasn't like, oh, he's going to cast me. That's not really what my
Right.
mindset was. I was like, I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because he kind of critiqued my headshot, and he also he was like, in the world of TV, here's some things that you would need to focus on and change and adjust.
Mhm.
But he's like, it was really good feedback for the self-tape, but also just for the performance.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious because I have not. I mean, I took the back in 2015 when I really first started thinking about the foundation because it really hadn't been put out much in this area. We actually had some foundation people and casting directors visit the Twin Cities,
Yeah.
and we held in-person classes over like a Friday and a Saturday, and several casting access classes. And I did attend one of those, and that was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
It was a very good class, but it was like, at the moment, it felt like kind of unreachable because this person was out of Chicago, and we really hadn't even talked about self-taping and things like that. So it appears that down the road, the Twin Cities may be able to offer some online versions of casting. We are
Yeah.
hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that because I think that is something that we've been, missing for quite some time, is just somebody who will give us some feedback.
Well, and to what you're saying too, I mean, I want to just mention like my experience and my in like 2019 to 2021, like with the pandemic and things like that, all of these things that are online now, I mean, just a few years ago, it was like that wasn't really what we were doing. So
Mm-mm.
it's amazing at how I mean, the speed of light, it's like, oh, okay, now everything is online. And it's just like, oh, okay, this drastically changed even how we're taking classes, because the SAG-AFTRA Foundation classes that
Mhm.
we have access to now, we didn't.
Yeah, no,
They weren't offered in this format. So
yeah,
in some ways it's amazing.
yeah, it really is. And like I said, it's kind of an all new world for SAG-AFTRA people. So hopefully we can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have catching up to do. Those of us who have been here for a while and didn't really, know about putting reels together and just anything recorded options. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's something to be said for like I said, I took a whole bunch of classes last month, and one of them was on demo reels, and it was so helpful because my demo reel's ready now. It's out there, it's done, and that took a lot of work, but also and the class just gave me like, here's the parameters, and boom, 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 and it was really,
Mm,
oh, excuse me, it was really good. So
Good deal.
so like one more couple quick questions and then I'll let you go, Mary. But
Mhm.
did you find it hard to participate
Um,
in the
in
SAG-AFTRA Foundation's classes? Like, was that
um,
hard?
not necessarily. I mean, it was kind of set up like any other kind of Zoom session with the opportunity to chat and ask
Okay.
questions.
Yeah.
And that worked, I mean, I asked a question and he actually even caught it and answered it.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was
No,
good.
that's really good. And as far as the process to like get signed up and all that stuff, I think it just took me, like, I just had to have a little bit of time set aside to like sit and read because I thought that there was a lot to read when I was very first signing up. I was like, okay, I just need to go through these steps. But yeah, once I was signed up and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it. That's the other part about trying to set these up for the Twin Cities. I like the fact that we will be sort of focusing on the Twin Cities group because the questions may be a little different from what the general foundation classes might be, because the general foundation online stuff is capturing people from all over the country. Lots from LA usually, but the class that I was on, there were people from all over the country. So sometimes the questions, it's good that they're location specific, and that's why I'm kind of looking forward to having that opportunity here.
Yeah.
But even so, it was nice to also hear perspective and questions from those other people to see, what other locals or actors are dealing with, things that we might be dealing with as well. So
Yeah. No, I can echo that. Dealing with what we're dealing with and even what we will probably be dealing with in the near future. So that's kind of exciting.
mhm.
Thanks so much, Mary. It's been good chatting with you and touching base. If anybody wants to more information again about SAG-AFTRA, it's SAG-AFTRA.Foundation. You can check out their website. And if you want any more information about Mary or myself, feel free to reach out and we'll be, happy to talk and, and give you some more information if you'd like. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.